Space Station Harmony 7 floated in the darkness of space like a bright star. For 30 years, it had been a place where humans and aliens worked side by side. The spinning rings of the station held homes, labs, and the biggest hospital in this part of space. Dr. Jiho Park walked through the clean white halls of the medical wing. At 62 years old, his hair had turned gray, but his hands remained steady. These hands had saved thousands of lives, human and alien alike. "Dr. Park, we need you in Bay 3, called a nurse, her voice urgent but controlled. Jiho nodded and quickened his steps. Inside Bay 3, a large insect-like alien lay on the table. Its blue shell looked dull, and 2 of its 6 legs twitched in pain. "Galactic infection," Jiho said after a quick scan. "Get me the blue vial from storage." The team moved quickly. Humans in white and blue uniforms worked around the alien patient with practiced ease. This was why Harmony 7 was famous across the galaxy. Here, the best doctors from Earth treated everyone who needed help, no matter their home planet. "Father, I think we should try the new treatment," said a voice from the doorway. Dr. Yunha Park stood there, her dark hair pulled back in a neat bun. At 34, she had already made a name for herself studying alien diseases. While Jiho followed the old ways of healing, Yuna always pushed for new ideas. "The patient is too weak for testing," Jiho replied, not looking up from his work. "It's not testing anymore." "I finished the trials last week," Yunha said, stepping closer. "The new medicine works better and has fewer side effects." Jiho paused. He trusted his daughter's work. "Show me." Yuna pulled out a small green vial. The liquid inside glowed slightly. "It targets only the infection, not any healthy cells." After checking the data on her tablet, Jiho nodded. "We'll try it." The new medicine worked quickly. Within minutes, the alien's blue shell brightened, and its breathing became steady. "You saved another one, Dr. Park," said the nurse with a smile. Outside in the hallway, Jiho put his hand on his daughter's shoulder. "Good work. Your mother would be proud." Yunha smiled but looked down. Her mother had died 10 years ago, treating patients during the Centauri outbreak. She had been a great doctor, too. "I'm going to check on our new arrival," Yunha said. "He seems nervous." In another part of the medical wing, young Dr. Tae-hyun Kim stared out the large window at the stars. It was his first week on Harmony 7, and everything still amazed him. At 28, he was the youngest doctor sent from Earth this year. "Quite a view, isn't it?" asked Yunha, walking up beside him. Tae-hyun turned quickly and bowed slightly. "Dr. Park, yes, it's beautiful." "Just Yuna is fine," she said with a kind smile. "How are you settling in?" "It's overwhelming," Tae-hyun admitted. "Yesterday I treated 5 different species. In medical school, we only saw pictures of most aliens." Yunha nodded. "That's why we're here. Books can only teach so much. Real healing happens face to face." They walked together toward the eastern wing where the newest patient stayed. "Is it true you're working on a cure for the void-born plague?" Tae-hyun asked. Everyone had heard about the deadly disease spreading through nearby star systems. "I'm trying," Yunya said. "It's tricky because it affects so many different species in different ways. But I think I'm close to a breakthrough." They stopped at a room where a human-like alien sat on a bed. He had pale blue skin and 3 fingers on each hand. "This is Raul," Yunha said. "He's our first void-born patient to reach the station." Raul looked up with cloudy eyes. Purple veins showed through his skin, a clear sign of the plague. "Hello, doctors," he said weakly. "Thank you for trying to help me." Tae-hyun felt a mix of fear and determination. The void-born plague killed 70% of those infected, but if anyone could find a cure, it would be Dr. Yunha Park. That night, while most of the station slept, Yunha worked in her lab. Test tubes filled with different colored liquids lined her workbench. Screens showed the strange virus that caused the plague. "Computer, run simulation 47 again," she said, rubbing her tired eyes. The screen flashed with new images as the computer tested her latest formula against the virus. This time something different happened. The virus cells began to break down. Yuna jumped up. Computer, confirm results. Simulation successful. Virus neutralized, the computer replied in its flat voice. I did it, Yuna whispered. She reached for her communicator to call her father when an alarm began to blare throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the hallways. The station's AI spoke calmly but firmly. Warning. Unknown vessels approaching. All personnel to safety stations. Unha quickly saved her work and backed up the data. Something felt wrong. Harmony 7 rarely had unexpected visitors, especially ones that triggered alarms. She rushed to the main medical wing where her father would be organizing the staff. As she turned a corner, she crashed into Taehyun. Dr. Park, the military deck, says 5 ships just appeared near the station, he said out of breath. They're not responding to communication. Together they hurried to the central medical area. Dr. Jiho Park stood there, already giving orders to prepare emergency beds. Father, what's happening? Yuna asked. We don't know yet, Jiho replied. But we need to be ready for anything. Taehyun, check the supply rooms. Make sure we have enough blood and medicine for emergencies. Taehyun nodded and ran off. Yuna touched her father's arm. I need to tell you something important, she said. I think I found it. The cure for the voidborn plague. The simulation worked. Jiho's eyes widened. Are you sure? Yes, I need to run more tests, but the computer confirmed it works, Yuna said excitedly. Before Jiho could respond, a violent shake ran through the entire station. People fell to the floor as lights flickered. A second blast hit, stronger than the first. We're under attack, someone shouted. Jiho helped Yuna to her feet. Get to the secure lab. Save your research, it's too important to lose. What about you? Yuna asked. I need to help evacuate the patients, Jiho said firmly. Go. Yuna hesitated but knew he was right. Her cure could save millions across the galaxy. As she turned to leave, the station's view screens showed the attacking ships clearly for the first time. They were black as space itself with sharp edges that looked like knives. On their sides was a symbol everyone in the galaxy feared. The red claw of the Kronax Empire. Why would the Kronax attack a medical station? A nurse asked, voice shaking. Jiho's face darkened. Because they don't want us to heal. They want war. Another blast rocked the station. This time, part of the ceiling collapsed. People screamed as dust filled the air. Through the chaos, Taehyun returned. The eastern wing is hit. Bad, there are children trapped there. Alien children? Jiho asked quickly. Yes, the Mira refugees we took in last week, Taehyun confirmed. Without hesitation, Jiho headed toward the damaged section. Yuna, go now. Save your work. Yuna watched her father disappear into the smoke-filled corridor. Something told her this might be the last time she saw him. Far away, in the blackness of space, more Kronax ships appeared. They moved toward Harmony 7 like hungry predators. The peaceful era of healing was about to end, and humanity would never be the same again. Smoke filled the hallways of Harmony 7. The space station shook as more Kronax weapons hit it. Red emergency lights flashed, making shadows dance on the walls. Taehyun Kim ran through the medical wing, helping injured people along the way. His white doctor's coat now had blood and dust on it. Some blood was red from humans. Some was blue, green, or purple from different alien species. Everyone head to the escape pods, he shouted, pointing people down the safer corridors. In his mind, Taehyun kept seeing Dr. Jiho Park rushing toward the eastern wing, where the alien children were trapped. The old doctor had not returned. Another blast rocked the station. This one was closer. Part of the wall next to Taehyun broke apart and he fell to the floor. His ears rang from the loud noise. As he got up, he heard the station's computer voice. Warning, station shields at 30%. Evacuation required. Taehyun knew he should go to an escape pod. But first he had to find Dr. Yuna Park. Her work on the voidborn plague cure was too important to lose. In her lab, Yuna worked quickly. Her hands moved fast over the computer controls as she saved her research data. The cure she had found could save millions across the galaxy. She couldn't let it be destroyed. Download complete, the computer said. Yuna took the small data chip and put it in a special case. She tucked the case into her pocket and headed for the door. Just as she reached it, the whole room shook violently. The ceiling cracked, and pieces began to fall. Yuna covered her head and ran into the hallway. The damage was everywhere. Medical equipment lay broken on the floor. Some walls had holes showing the metal frame of the station. "Dr. Park," a voice called. It was Tae-hyun, running toward her from the other end of the hall. "Tae-hyun, we need to get to the escape pods," Yuna said when he reached her. "Your father went to save the children in the eastern wing," Tae-hyun explained. "I haven't seen him since." Yunha's face went pale. "We have to find him." They moved carefully through the damaged station. Most people had already gone to the escape pods. Only a few medical staff remained, helping the last patients. When they reached the eastern wing, they found a scene of horror. A direct hit had opened part of the outer wall. Emergency shields had activated, but the damage was severe. And there, in the middle of the destroyed room, lay Dr. Jiho Park. "Father," Yunha cried, rushing to him. Jiho was on the floor, his body covering 3 small alien children. The children were alive but scared. Jiho had protected them with his own body when the blast hit. Yuna turned her father over gently. His eyes opened, but they looked distant. "The children, are they safe?" he asked in a weak voice. "Yes, father, you saved them," Yuna said, tears filling her eyes. Jiho tried to smile. "Good, that's what healers do." His breathing was shallow. "Yuna, your cure—" "I have it," she assured him. "It's safe. Share it with everyone, no matter who they are," Jiho whispered. Tae-hyun checked Jiho's injuries. The look on his face told Yuna everything she needed to know. Her father was dying. "I promise, father," Yuna said, holding his hand tight. Jiho looked at her one last time. "I'm proud of you." Then his eyes closed forever. Yuna wanted to stay there, to cry, to scream. But another blast reminded her that they were still in danger. "We need to go," Tae-hyun said gently. "The station could break apart any minute." Wiping her tears, Yunha nodded. They quickly moved the alien children and headed for the escape pods. As they ran through the station, they passed the main communication room. Inside, the screen showed the Kronax ships clearly. They were not just attacking randomly. They were specifically targeting the medical wing. "They're aiming for the hospital on purpose," Tae-hyun said in shock. "But why?" Before Yuna could answer, a voice came over the station's speakers. It was deep and cold, speaking the common galactic language with a harsh accent. "People of Harmony 7, this is Commander Vex of the Kronax Empire. Your station has been identified as the primary research center for the Voidborn Plague. This disease is the property of the Kronax Empire. All research must be destroyed. All researchers must be eliminated." Hyunha's hand went to her pocket where the cure was stored. The Kronax weren't trying to stop a disease, they had created it. The Voidborn Plague was their weapon, and they didn't want a cure to exist. "They're monsters," Tae-hyun whispered. Another message played across the station. "All Kronax forces. Primary targets are human medical personnel. Eliminate with extreme prejudice." Just then, 3 Kronax soldiers appeared at the end of the hallway. They were tall with gray skin and black armor. Their helmets had red glowing eyes. They carried weapons that looked like long, thin spears. "Run!" Yuna shouted. They turned and ran the other way, the alien children close behind them. The Kronax fired their weapons. Beams of red energy hit the walls around them. Tae-hyun led them down a maintenance corridor. "The escape pods are this way," they could hear the heavy footsteps of the Kronax soldiers following them. As they turned a corner, a beam hit Yuna in the side. She cried out and fell against the wall. "Yunha!" Tae-hyun caught her before she hit the floor. "I'm okay," she said, but blood was spreading across her medical uniform. "Keep going." Tae-hyun looked behind them. The Kronax were getting closer. He helped Unha move forward, but she was getting weaker with each step. Finally, they reached the escape pod section. Most pods were already gone, but 2 remained. They hurried the alien children into one pod. "Get in," Taehyun told Una, helping her toward the last pod. "The cure," Una said, her voice weak. She took the data case from her pocket and pressed it into Taehyun's hand. "You must take it. Make sure it reaches Earth." "We'll both take it," Taehyun insisted. The sound of Kronax weapons grew louder. They had almost found them. "There's no time," Una said. She pushed Taehyun toward the pod where the children waited. "Go. Save them. Save the cure." Before Taehyun could argue, Yunha hit the launch button. The pod door closed between them. The last thing Taehyun saw was Yunha turning to face the approaching Kronax soldiers, a small medical laser in her hand. A healer prepared to fight. The escape pod shot away from the station. Through the small window, Taehyun watched as more Kronax ships arrived. Harmony 7, once a place of healing and peace, was being torn apart. One of the alien children touched his arm. "Dr. Hurt?" the small blue creature asked, pointing at Taehyun's tears. "Yes," Taehyun whispered. "Dr. Hurt." In the distance, Galactic Confederation ships finally appeared. Too late to save the station. Too late to save Dr. Jiho. Too late to save Yunha. Taehyun looked down at the small data case in his hand. The cure for the void-born plague. Yunha's final gift to the galaxy. He closed his fingers around it tightly. "They will pay for this," he promised, his voice low. "They attacked our healers. They will regret it." The escape pod sped toward the nearest friendly planet, leaving behind the burning remains of Harmony 7. News of the attack was already spreading across human space. And somewhere on Earth, in hidden bases deep underground, something dangerous was awakening, something humanity had hoped never to use again. Deep under the surface of Earth's moon, Commander Hyunwoo Jang sat in a dark room. The only light came from a screen showing terrible images. Harmony 7 space station was breaking apart. Bodies floated in space. Escape pods fled like small fish from a big predator. Hyunwoo's face showed no emotion as he watched. He was 50 years old with short gray hair and a scar across his right cheek. For 20 years, he had hoped this day would never come. The door opened, and a woman in a black uniform entered. She stood straight and waited. "It's confirmed, then?" Hyunwoo asked without turning. "Yes, Commander," the woman replied. "The Kronax Empire has attacked Harmony 7. They specifically targeted our medical personnel. Doctors Jiho and Yunha Park are confirmed dead." Hyunwoo closed his eyes for a moment. He had met Jiho Park once, many years ago. A good man, a healer. "And the message from Earth government?" he asked. The woman handed him a small device. "It came through the secure channel 10 minutes ago." Hyunwoo pressed his thumb to the device. It scanned his fingerprint, then displayed a simple message. Protocol. Valkyrie. Authorization. Mercy's End. Effective immediately. 20 years of peace, Hyunwoo said softly. 20 years of hiding who we really are. He looked up at the woman. "Captain Mina, activate all Valkyrie units. It's time." Captain Mina Ryu nodded and left the room. At 45, she had been with the Valkyrie program since the beginning. Once she had been a surgeon, saving lives with gentle hands. Now those same hands would bring death. Hyunwoo stood and walked to a wall panel. He placed his hand on it, and the wall slid open. Inside was a black uniform with a single red symbol, a medical cross inside a dark circle. It was time for the galaxy to learn why humans were the most dangerous species of all. In a large underground room, 50 men and women stood in perfect lines. All wore black uniforms with the red cross symbol. All had the same cold look in their eyes. Mina walked to the front of the room. "Valkyries," she said, her voice strong. "The day we trained for has come. The Kronax Empire has attacked our healers at Harmony 7. They targeted doctors and medical staff. They killed those who only wanted to help others. The room remained silent, but the air seemed to get colder. For 20 years, humanity has shown the galaxy only one side of who we are. We shared our medicine, our healing skills, our compassion. Mina's eyes narrowed. Now they will learn about our other skills. She pressed a button, and a large screen showed the Kronax Empire's main planets and bases. The Valkyries were created for one purpose: to protect those who heal by any means necessary. Each of you knows the biology of every species in the galaxy. You know how to heal them, and how to harm them. Mina pointed to different places on the map. Team 1 will target their command centers. Team 2 will handle their weapons facilities. Team 3 will secure their medical research bases. A tall man stepped forward. Captain, what about the Voidborn Plague? Our intelligence suggests the Kronax created it as a weapon. Correct, Lieutenant Dongwon, Mina replied. That's why your team has the most important job. You will infiltrate their main research facility and secure all data on the plague. Dongwon Li nodded. At 38, he was the best infiltration specialist in the program. His background in nerve chemistry made him especially effective against the Kronax, whose nervous systems were unlike any other species. What about survivors from Harmony 7? Another officer asked. Most escaped, Mina said. One escape pod carried something especially valuable, a cure for the Voidborn Plague developed by Dr. Yuna Park before she was killed. A young doctor named Taehyun Kim has the data. Team 4 will find and protect him. Commander Hyunwoo entered the room. Everyone stood even straighter. Valkyries, he said, looking at each face. When humanity joined the Galactic Confederation, we made a choice. We would be known as healers, not warriors. We shared our medical knowledge freely. We helped all species. We saved countless lives. He walked slowly past the front line of officers. We kept our military history, our combat skills, our knowledge of how to fight. We kept all that hidden. We created the Terran Medical Corps to show our compassion. And we created the Valkyries, you, to protect that compassion if needed. Hyunwoo stopped and turned to face them all. The Kronax believe they have found our weakness. They think that by attacking our healers they have struck at helpless targets. His voice grew harder. They are wrong. They have not found our weakness. They have awakened our fury. He pressed a button, and the wall behind him opened to reveal a hangar with sleek black ships. These are medical transport vessels, redesigned for our purposes. They carry no weapons that would be recognized by standard scans. They will see medical equipment, not the tools of war. Mina stepped forward again. Remember your oaths. We are still healers. We fight to protect life, minimize civilian casualties, target only military and leadership. And remember, we are not looking for a fair fight. We are looking for a swift end. The Valkyries moved toward the ships. Each team knew their mission. Each person knew exactly what to do. As Mina prepared to board her ship, Hyunwoo stopped her. The Kronax don't understand what they've done, he said quietly. Humans have been warriors for thousands of years. We've been healers for only a few centuries. It's a thin layer of peace covering a deep history of war. Mina nodded. They attacked the wrong people. Healers know exactly how bodies work, and exactly how to stop them from working. In the Kronax Empire's Central Command, Supreme Commander Kraz watched recordings from the Harmony 7 attack. His gray skin looked almost white in the dim light. His red eyes showed no emotion. The human medical staff offered no resistance, an officer reported. They died trying to protect patients, weak as expected. Kraz nodded. And the research data? Mostly destroyed. Some escape pods got away. We are tracking them. Good. Without their precious healers, the humans will be no threat. Their military has grown soft while they focused on medicine, Kraz said. The Voidborn Plague will continue to spread, and only we will have control over who lives and who dies. A younger officer stepped forward nervously. Supreme Commander, there is a report from our outer bases. Several human ships have been detected moving through Confederation space. Military vessels? Kraz asked. No, sir. They appear to be medical transport ships, probably carrying replacement doctors for their lost medical staff. Kraz laughed, a harsh sound. Let them come. Send a message to all our bases. Any human medical ships are to be allowed through our security. Let them see what real power looks like." The officer nodded and left to send the message. Kraz turned back to the screen showing the destruction of Harmony 7. Humans. So predictable. So weak. They will send more healers, and we will destroy them too. He did not notice the small alert, flashing on a side screen, an alert about unusual energy readings from the approaching medical ships. The Valkyries were coming, and the Kronax were not prepared for what was about to happen. The Kronax Medical Center on their home planet was the largest building in the capital city. Its tall gray towers reached toward the orange sky. Hundreds of Kronax moved in and out of its many doors each day. Today, 5 new doctors had arrived. They wore the white uniforms of the Galactic Confederation Medical Aid Team. Their faces looked kind and helpful. The Kronax guards barely looked at them as they entered the building. No one noticed how carefully these new doctors watched everything. No one saw the small devices they placed in corners as they walked. No one realized that these were not doctors at all. Captain Mina Ryu smiled at a Kronax nurse. "We're here to help with the Voidborn cases," she said in perfect Kronax language. "The Confederation sent us when they heard the plague had reached your world." The nurse looked surprised. "Even after the humans lost their station, they still send help?" "Of course," Mina said. "Healers help everyone." Her smile stayed in place, but her eyes were cold. The nurse led Mina and her team to the special wing where the sickest patients stayed. 30 Kronax lay in beds, their gray skin turned almost black from the plague. Among them was a large Kronax in an expensive uniform, General Dorth, one of the military leaders who had ordered the attack on Harmony 7. "This one arrived yesterday," the nurse said. "The plague moves quickly in the higher ranks for some reason. We'll take special care of him," Mina promised. "My team needs to set up our equipment. Could we have some privacy?" When the nurse left, Mina turned to her team. "Lock the doors, activate jammers." Lieutenant Jonah, one of her team, pressed a small device. All cameras in the room stopped working. Another team member placed guards at each door. Mina walked to General Dorth's bed. His red eyes opened when she approached. "Human," he said, his voice weak. "You came to help us?" "I came to deliver a message," Mina said, her kind voice gone. She leaned close to his ear. "The humans you killed at Harmony 7? They were the nice ones." Fear showed in Dorth's eyes as Mina took out a small injector from her medical bag. "What are you doing?" he asked. "A surgical strike," Mina replied. She pressed the injector to his neck. "This won't kill you. It will paralyze you. Then you're going to tell us everything about the void-born plague your empire created. And then you'll help us send a message to all Kronax military leaders." Across the room, her team was already working. They weren't treating patients. They were gathering information from the medical center's computers. Every file about the void-born plague was being copied. Every bit of research the Kronax had done was now in human hands. "The Valkyrie teams report success at all targets," Lieutenant Jonah said quietly to Mina. "Lieutenant Dongwon's team has secured the main research facility. Commander Hyunwoo is addressing the Galactic Confederation Council now." Mina nodded. "Perfect timing. Let's make sure the Kronax leadership gets a good view of his speech." In a grand room filled with representatives from 100 different species, Commander Hyunwoo Jang stood on the speaking platform. The Galactic Confederation Council had called an emergency meeting after the attack on Harmony 7. "Members of the Council," Hyunwoo began, his voice calm but powerful. 3 days ago, the Kronax Empire attacked a medical station. They specifically targeted human healers. They killed doctors who had sworn to help all beings regardless of species. Angry voices filled the room. Many council members had received treatment from human doctors over the years. "But this was not just an attack on humans," Hyunwoo continued. "It was an attack on all who believe in peace. We have evidence that the Kronax Empire created the void-born plague as a weapon. They attacked Harmony 7 because our doctors found a cure." He showed images on the large screen. Kronax research facilities, secret laboratories, files with plans for the plague. Humanity joined this confederation as healers. We shared our medical knowledge freely. We chose to be known for saving lives rather than taking them. Hyunwoo's voice grew harder. But make no mistake, we remember how to fight. The room grew very quiet. We did not start this conflict. The Kronax did, when they murdered our healers. Now they will face justice. Hyunwoo looked at each council member. As we speak, human forces are conducting precise operations against Kronax military targets. We are not attacking civilians. We are not destroying planets. We are removing the threat with surgical precision. A council member from a plant-like species stood up. Commander, this is highly unusual. The Confederation should vote before any military action. This is not open for debate, Hyunwoo interrupted. We waited for the Confederation fleet to protect Harmony 7. They arrived too late. We will not make that mistake again. The screens around the room suddenly changed. They now showed live feeds from across Kronax space. Military bases with soldiers, lying on the ground unable to move but still alive. Command centers with officers frozen in their chairs. And in the center of the Kronax capital, their leaders gathered in one room, all paralyzed. The Kronax will live, Hyunwoo said, just as our doctors would have wanted. But their empire ends, today. Taehyun Kim sat in a small room on Earth. 3 days had passed since he escaped Harmony 7. 3 days since he watched Yoonha die to save him and the cure she had created. A door opened, and a woman in a black uniform entered. Dr. Kim, I'm Lieutenant Sora from the Valkyrie program. I need you to come with me. The Valkyrie program? Taehyun asked. I've never heard of it. Few have, Sora replied. We're the part of humanity that stays hidden until needed. She led him to a ship waiting outside. Inside, medical equipment lined the walls, but Taehyun noticed other devices that didn't look like healing tools. Where are we going? He asked. To finish Dr. Park's work, Sora said. You have the cure for the Voidborn plague. We're taking you to distribute it. The ship lifted off, heading for space. The Kronax, Taehyun began, have been neutralized, Sora said. Our teams moved against all their bases simultaneously. They never saw us coming. Your teams. You're not regular military, are you? Sora looked at him. We're what happens when healers remember how to hurt. Every Valkyrie was once a doctor, or nurse or medical researcher. We know exactly how bodies work and how to stop them from working. Taehyun thought about Yoonha and Jiho, about their kindness and dedication to healing. What would they think of this? They would hate it, Sora admitted. That's why we exist, so people like them don't have to do what we do. They heal. We protect. Their ship docked at a large Confederation station. Inside, Lieutenant Dongwon Lee waited for them. Dr. Kim, he greeted Taehyun. We have a lab ready for you to prepare the cure. Captain Mina has secured the Kronax research on the plague. Together we can stop this disease once and for all. As they walked through the station, Taehyun saw many humans in black uniforms with the Red Cross symbol. They moved with confidence and purpose. The Kronax thought we were weak because we chose to heal, Dongwon said. They forgot that knowing how to heal means knowing exactly where to strike. Taehyun pulled out the small data case that contained Yuna's last work, the cure that had cost her life. I'll help you, he said, for Yuna, for all the healers. News spread across the galaxy quickly. The Kronax Empire had fallen in a single day. No massive battles, no planet-wide destruction. Just precise, unstoppable strikes that left their military and leadership completely helpless. And following right behind the warriors came the healers, human doctors with the cure for the plague, treating everyone, even the Kronax who had attacked them. The galaxy learned an important lesson. Never mistake healers' hands for weak hands, and never ever attack those who heal. 1 month after the fall of the Kronax Empire, Taehyun Kim stood on the observation deck of a new space station. This station was not yet complete, but it already had a name: New Harmony. It was being built at the same location where Harmony 7 had once floated among the stars. Taehyun watched as construction ships moved large pieces of metal into place. Workers in spacesuits connected parts together with bright welding tools. The new station would be bigger than the old one, with better shields and some hidden defenses. But its main purpose remained the same: to heal. "It's going to be beautiful," said a voice behind him. Taehyun turned to see Captain Mina Ryu. She no longer wore her black Valkyrie uniform. Instead, she had on the white and blue clothes of the Terran Medical Corps. "Yes, it will be," Taehyun agreed. Dr. Jiho would be proud. They stood in silence for a moment, remembering those who had died on Harmony 7. "The cure is working well," Taehyun said. "We've treated over 10,000 patients so far. The void-born plague will be gone within 6 months if we continue at this pace." Mina nodded. Dr. Yunha's final gift to the galaxy. A small shuttle docked at the station. From it came Commander Hyunwoo Jang, followed by several Galactic Confederation officials of different species. With them was a Kronax, the former Supreme. Commander Kraz, now simply a representative of his people. Taehyun and Mina joined them in the station's meeting room. Representatives from 20 different species sat around a large table. At the center of the table was a document, the new peace treaty. Hyunwoo stood to speak. "1 month ago, we faced a terrible choice. The Kronax Empire attacked our healers, killed our doctors, and tried to spread a deadly plague through the galaxy. We responded with force. Everyone in the room was quiet, remembering the swift fall of the once powerful empire. Today, we choose a different path," Hyunwoo continued. "The Valkyrie program has completed its mission. Our forces have withdrawn from Kronax space. Their military has been disbanded, and their leadership has been replaced with a council that will answer to the Galactic Confederation." Kraz, the former Kronax leader, looked down at the table. The Valkyries had spared his life but had taken his power. His once proud species was now under the watch of the Confederation. "Most importantly," Hyunwoo said, "we have kept our promise as healers. Every victim of the void-born plague has received or will receive the cure, including all infected." Kronax, a representative of a bird-like species, stood up. "The Confederation Council has a question, Commander. The Valkyrie program, what happens to it now?" It was the question many had been asking. The galaxy had seen what humans could do when provoked. Many species were now afraid of the healers they had once trusted. Hyunwoo looked around the room. "The Valkyrie program will be disbanded. Its ships will be converted back to medical vessels. Its personnel will return to healing duties." Relief showed on many faces. "But," Hyunwoo added, his voice firm, "let this be clear to all species in the galaxy. Humans are healers by choice, not by nature. If our medical personnel are ever targeted again, our response will be swift and without mercy." The message was understood by everyone in the room. "Attack human healers at your own risk." The peace treaty was signed by all representatives, including Kraz. The former Kronax leader then approached Taehyun. "You are the one who completed the cure?" Kraz asked. "No," Taehyun replied. "Dr. Yunha Park created the cure. I only carried it to safety after she gave her life to protect it." Kraz was quiet for a moment. "I was wrong about humans," he finally said. "We thought your dedication to healing made you weak. We did not understand that it takes greater strength to heal than to harm. Remember that," Taehyun said, "when you rebuild your society." Later that day, Mina found Taehyun in the medical lab working on preparing more of the cure. "I have news," she said. "The Confederation Council has approved your appointment as Chief Medical Officer of New Harmony once it's complete." Taehyun looked surprised. "Me? But I'm still young, still learning." "You were Dr. Yuna's last student," Mina said. "You carry on her work, there is no better choice." Taehyun thought about it. Chief Medical Officer, the position Jiho Park had held. It was a big responsibility. "I'll do it," he said. "For them." Mina smiled, a real smile this time. "Good. And don't worry, you'll have help." She pointed to herself. "I'm returning to my original career. I'll be joining the surgical team here." "A Valkyrie becoming a healer again?" Taehyun asked. "That's the point of the Valkyries," Mina explained. "We were always healers first, warriors second. Now we go back to what we really are." Across the station, Similar conversations were happening. The Valkyries were putting away their weapons and picking up medical tools again. Lieutenant Dongwon was setting up a new research lab. Other former Valkyries were training new doctors or preparing treatment rooms. That evening, Commander Hyunwoo gathered all the Valkyries one last time in the station's main hall. Nearly 200 men and women in black uniforms stood in perfect lines. "Valkyries," Hyunwoo began, "today we end our mission. The threat has been eliminated. Our healers are safe again. The galaxy has learned its lesson." He walked slowly in front of them. "Each of you will now return to the path you once walked, the path of healing. You will take off these black uniforms and put on the white coats of doctors. You will use your hands to save lives, not take them." Hyunwoo stopped, in the center of the room. "But you will not forget. You will not forget what you are capable of. You will not forget those who died at Harmony 7. And if the day ever comes when healers are targeted again, you will be ready." As one, the Valkyries removed the patches from their uniforms, the red cross inside a black circle. They would keep these as a reminder. "Dismissed," Hyunwoo said. "Return to your healing duties." The Valkyries filed out of the room, heading toward their new assignments across the galaxy. The angels of death were becoming angels of mercy once more. 6 months later, New Harmony was complete. Its medical facilities were even better than before. Doctors from Earth and many other planets worked side by side, treating patients of all species. In the center of the main medical wing stood a memorial. It showed 2 figures, Dr. Jiho Park and Dr. Yuna Park, both with kind smiles and healing hands. Under the memorial was a simple message in many languages. "We are healers first, but never forget what we can become." Taehyun often stopped at the memorial, remembering his teachers and friends. The void-born plague was gone now thanks to Eunha's cure. The Kronaks were rebuilding their society under Confederation guidance. Peace had returned to the galaxy. But something had changed forever. No species would ever again mistake human kindness for weakness. No empire would ever again target human healers. They had learned what humans had known for thousands of years. Those who understand how to heal best understand how to harm, and those with the gentlest hands can strike with the greatest precision. The angels of death had returned to being healers, but they would always be watching, ready to protect those who save lives by any means necessary. End.